Welcome to No Left Field, the show for busting boundaries and expanding possibilities.
And we have fun doing it.
Do we, though?
Hey, listeners. Welcome to this special episode of No Left Field, featuring our first ever guests, Ed and Colette, our spouses and life partners. Our intended topic was Prayer Porch, the gathering for praying and reflecting that we do Monday through Friday mornings. But the preambles got so engrossing that we ran out of time. We'll gather this group again soon to pick up where we left off. Meanwhile, we hope you enjoy meeting Colette and Ed and hearing from them about their spiritual journeys.
Hey, Jason!
Hey, Rowena.
We're back. We're back in the studio after a little hiatus.
Yeah, it's been hard to schedule. And there's 4 of us that we've been scheduling for, which we'll get into in a bit with our special guests.
Special guest.
But yeah, I've missed our what had become kind of regular rhythm here in season 2.
Yes.
But we're back. And it's really nice to be back here in the studio with you.
That's so nice. I was upstairs a few minutes ago. You received an email, which might be a good segue into our updates
about our situations that we've been talking about for a year now.
Yes. Do you want me to go first?
No.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I think you've teed it up.
Okay.
Teed it up. It's interesting. I mean, sort of just real time, right? This is like real time emotional reaction to another piece of disappointing professional news. This was an opportunity that would have been complicated, but it was extremely exciting. It would have involved me moving to New York City.
Okay.
Which I wasn't keen to do, but it looked like it was an arrangement where I could spend a lot of weekends back home, where Colette could spend a lot of time there with me. I would have been traveling back and forth to a country that I've spent a lot of time in. And be involved in a really, really exciting program. And this was just the very first stage of the hiring process for this position. And I wasn't a bullseye candidate, but I sure as hell checked a lot of the boxes. And it's disappointing news. My brain right now is sort of halfway in the sort of just like, I'm over it, build an emotional wall. Screw them kind of mode.
Yeah, they're lost. They're lost.
Yeah, except they know what they want, and it's not me. It's not me for this role.
But that's their loss too.
Yeah.
That's their loss, that they want something that is not checking all of the boxes.
I mean, I guess so. Actually, this is good, fertile ground for us to explore a little bit, which is, I mean, I very much appreciate the spirit of it's their loss, and I know that you believe that, and I love that about you supporting me in that way. And that's how we lift one another up. And part of it just doesn't land right with me. It feels a little bit like sour grapes. Like, like it feels to me anyway. Like in my, it's just like, they know what they want, and they're going to get what they want. They've got what they need to find whoever it is that they really want for this position. So I don't think it's actually their loss. I mean, sure, they'll lose out on me, but they'll also gain what it is that they're actually looking for, which evidently is not somebody with my profile. So,
okay.
Okay,
I hear that.
Yeah.
Our gain in you not splitting your time in New York and another country.
Yeah. And I need to remind myself of what I said the day that I found out about this position and submitted my application for this position, which was whatever gets you through the freaking day, week, month, whatever. So what I got from this, and I knew I was going to get an update in early July. It is July 8th. We didn't mention the date. It's July 8th, 2026.
Okay.
And I submitted my application 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
4.5 weeks ago. And I was just like, hey, I get 4+ weeks of a little bit of hope, a little bit of excitement. So I did get that. It was legit, excitement.
Yeah.
That has now come to an end. I didn't want it to come to an end. And it's starting to feel a little Groundhog Day-esque in my ongoing professional search. Believe it or not, listeners, if you've been tracking, I still haven't heard from that one other opportunity that's a lot closer nearby, but no news is bad news in job searches. So I've just been expecting any day to get the no on that. The other job that's across the country, I actually interviewed with the people who would be my bosses for that position. I decided for that interview that I was just going to show up. My two goals. My first goal was show up authentic as me.
Yeah.
Not the person who wants a job.
Nice.
Just show up as me. Second, I wanted the 3 people in that conversation. It was the 2 bosses plus the higher up in the admin of that organization. I wanted them to leave the conversation happy that they'd met me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I achieved both of those. I know I showed up authentically. I was absolutely honest with them about what I felt my credentials were, where I actually at one point I said, this is where it gets a little hard for me because I've been out of this specific field for 12 years. I'm not up to speed. I think I could get up to speed pretty quickly, but I'm not now. I'm not a subject matter expert like I was a dozen years ago.
Yeah.
So I felt really good about having shown up that way in the interview. So that felt like a win.
Yeah. Did that feel different than the way you've shown up for other interviews?
It felt different in a really good way until I started second guessing myself afterwards. Right? I just don't know a way to avoid that. It just seems like it's part of the process.
Yeah.
And part of that, it was. I had a conversation with Colette about it where she was doing what she does, which is try to support me in all the ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself going down a bit of a rabbit hole. And then I reminded myself about what my 2 goals had been for the interview and that I had achieved as far as I could tell. Like the energy was that I really do think they enjoyed meeting me.
Nice.
You can't really tell, right? But it felt that way. And I haven't heard anything since. And that's the job that I'm not super enthusiastic about anyway, because I don't want to move there.
Yeah.
And then there's still this dilemma. It's like, I feel like I want to be working somewhere that I want a job. I want to be working inside of an organization. I want to be leading again. And I also feel like I should simultaneously be producing content. And I'm just a little bit still confused and unfocused about what I want to be contributing intellectual capital wise. I did get some encouraging news today about a book chapter I get to write, which I'm very excited about. The editors accepted my submission, so that's exciting.
What's the topic?
Career readiness.
Love it.
Yeah, for in global education, international higher education.
Are you not like the expert?
Well,
ready.
There's lots of people. The book has this really long title. Career readiness is one of the topics of the essays in this volume. But it was exciting to get a yes.
And I'm just thinking, you're very ready for a career.
Oh my God, totally yes.
I'm ready.
Oh my God.
Hello, I am very ready.
I'm so ready.
Isn't there another job that you maybe have a call for tomorrow?
Oh yeah, there's that one too.
Okay.
So that I'm
tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah,
bro, this is like the story of my freaking life.
Okay.
I can't remember if this metaphor has come up on the pod yet, but that I'm a dog in the sense of I'm an eternal optimist. I get very excited, like our pup Stitch, right? It's like the slightest hint that somebody might be going outdoors. He perks up his ears, right? Like it's such a dog kind of a thing, and that's like totally me. It's like, ooh, that's exciting. I'm trying not to get too excited about this because it's a long shot.
Okay,
but it's local.
I love the local.
It's local.
Okay, love the local. So I'm going to put a few more prayers in that basket. And dogs are very forgiving, right? You're like, you ate my favorite, you bad dog. And the dog's like, what?
Well, I don't talk to my dog that way for the record.
How do you talk to your dog?
You're around me a lot when I talk to my dog.
So sort of sarcastically?
Maybe that's how you would talk to your dog if you had a dog.
What are you doing?
No. I mean, I got my little special Stitch language.
Okay, let's hear it.
Oh, who's the cutest little puppy dog?
Yes, who's my special?
Who's the cutest little puppy dog? Who's the goodies boy? Who's the goodies boy?
I'm going to talk to you that way after that interview tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today I'm going to talk to you that way because gotta just shake it off.
So I said like that sort of two. One is just the like, I'm just like, oh, not again. And then the other is like, I'm feeling the turnaround. I'm so glad you and Ed are here. We're going to be recording this pod, having fun.
Yeah.
And being together.
Yes.
And that is a nice balm. It's a nice balm. And I'm also just finding myself, it's just like, it's so easy to write, to have this just be the latest chapter in this sad, sad tale. And it doesn't have to be.
Not at all.
It doesn't have to be. It is another, it's not even a chapter. It's a freaking, I don't know. What's smaller than a chapter in a book? Nothing of a sentence. It's more than
table of
a couple paragraphs. Not table. I don't want this
Okay.
setting the structure of the whole thing. Thank you. But maybe a few paragraphs or maybe a
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, the metaphor isn't perfect.
Sorry.
No, it's totally good. No, I mean we're just brainstorming. We're trying to find out what the right metaphor is. So anyway, in this present moment, I'm not feeling great. There actually haven't been that many moments of feeling great. And then I guess one more update in terms of the emotional landscape of the last few weeks is there's just a lot of really unpleasant feelings associated with this barf tunnel. And I know that it is preparing me for to be a better human being and a more resilient human being and all of that. It's just like we've talked. Can it just be over?
Yeah.
Can it just be over?
Yeah.
I just want it to be over.
Yeah.
I want to be delivered.
Yeah.
I'm looking for deliverance. And I did, apropos of the whole spiritual angle to all of this, I did have this realization that I shared with you all on Prayer Porch last week, I think, which is, I said, it was a fleeting moment. It came and it went, but it was really beautiful. And it was, I don't know what God is preparing for me, but God is preparing something for me and I can wait.
And you're not passively waiting.
No, I'm not passively.
I'm putting your
things.
hat in the ring, as they say. And so each rejection is an affirmation. It's validation that you put your name out there. You put your skill set out there. You offered something and it wasn't received in the ways that maybe you were hoping but I don't forget the no wasted effort of you going through these. This is part of the preparation, right? Going through these motions, going through creating a portrait of what you do have, what skills you have, I love the vulnerability and honesty with which you're describing, how you, met the challenge of your last interview and showing up authentically as yourself. And I think that is something we undervalue, whether you're second guessing that as being a good idea or not. It is kind of profound. I have a personal story to link to that, but I wanted to just come back and ask you a little bit more about the feelings of the birth tunnel. Is it visceral feelings? Are you feeling tension and headaches and insomnia and lackluster, listlessness, lethargy?
None of those, thankfully, and thank God for running. That I just have that as an outlet, as a joy in my life. I've been actually, it's interesting, and then this kind of it's summer right now, and that's also just a huge. Even though it's been a foggy, shitty summer,
it's so cold.
The sun's shining right now at 6:40 p.m.
I'm wearing flannel-lined pants and 2 t-shirts and a sweater.
It's still summer and the days are long, and we are being very intentional about declaring summer and celebrating summer, and that's helped a lot. And also, I'm really hell bent on not sticking precisely to the 9 to 5 work schedule, taking advantage of because part of summer that I hadn't, that I hadn't actually consciously identified before, but it's very much a part of the joy of summer, is doing things at hours you wouldn't normally do them and having the flexibility. So when our younger daughter was in town last week, I got out 2 days in a row with both daughters and did fun things with them. And that was really great. And so yesterday, I was just like, I don't want to do my normal run. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to the dentist. Might as well just go to to a trail. And I was on a couple trails I'd never been on before. And so that's been really a balm to everything. And so it's more of it's just this background. I don't want to call it noise. It's like, it's acidic. It's like vinegary. I think if I had to characterize it physically somehow, it's a vinegary background to everything. It's just there, and it's sour.
Yeah.
And unpleasant.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, I think that's the best way to characterize it.
Well, if you're adding sweetness, I mean, I'm thinking of, right, like isn't vinegar it's a pickling thing, right? And so you could imagine it like bringing some, I mean, it can make things pickling can make things last for a really long time on the shelf, So like
put me in formaldehyde. Put me in formaldehyde.
Adding some sweetness with the spontaneous change of plans with the summer, with the like tracking that this is like our favorite season, like that can cut through some of the pickling.
Yes, absolutely.
Nature of
it does
vinegar.
have a counterbalancing sweetness. Yeah, I appreciate you observing that and sticking with the metaphor.
You're welcome.
There's one more observation I want to share, and then we can move on. And that is also, I'm also mindful, just in the immediate aftermath of receiving that email, is how much of like grade school and middle school sticks with us. Because there's this whole thing, it's just like, but those are the cool kids.
Yeah.
Those are the cool kids. And it's the second job that I've applied for that I've received a rejection from this organization. And it is a really cool, it's a profoundly inspiring program that I feel like I belong in, but they don't want to talk to me. Yeah. And that's where it's just like, well, screw them.
Yeah. No, totally. Totally. That's painful.
It's painful.
That's painful. And all the FOMO and all of the
all of that.
Using your imagination in the before times, before you got the rejection, to like imagine what it would be like and what your role could be and the dynamic sort of territory that the adventure that you could embark on with this. Like, yes. And now we're not doing that.
No, and actually, so this is actually a reminder, a call back to last time we were talking about this and the activation that I feel and the like the neurons firing. And I think where we left it last time was like, I gotta actually fire my own neurons, but I don't want to do that because I don't know how. So I guess on that front, I haven't really taken much ground at all since the last conversation. A little bit. There feels like there's something brewing in the background there as well. But I know my neurons would be so activated in this organization, and I want to be a part of it. Yeah. It's back to the middle school thing.
Yes.
Like, won't you guys let me in? Be one of you?
Yeah.
And that's actually, it's good for me to be mindful of that, because I think there's parts of that I have brought into interviews for some of these other jobs. And I think it was in contradistinction to that I was resolute going into that last interview. It's like, I'm just going to freaking show up as me, not as a supplicant.
Yes.
Like, not as just like, please, and I've got to prove something to you.
Yes.
It's like, look, here I am.
Yes.
Here's what I can do.
Yes.
If you want me, great.
Yes.
If not, great.
You are generous. You are abundant. I feel like that I don't hear you saying like with a sort of chip on your shoulder. I hear you saying like, there's a lot I want to learn. There's a lot of it. This is exhilarating to me to think about this stuff that I would be learning, that I would be catching up to speed on, as well as the wealth of expertise that I have and plugging that in,
Well, thank you for that. I achieved it in one interview.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's a good sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? A proof of concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's a proof of concept. It's
Great.
like, I've shown I can do this and I know that it feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess there's a certain honoring. There's a certain honoring that I feel like, honoring of myself and honoring of my talents and honoring of the people that I'm talking to and the organizations that I'm talking to as well.
Yeah.
That I want to continue.
Yes.
Should I be fortunate enough? Tomorrow's interview is just a screening interview. I would love to advance to the next round. It could be really fun.
Yeah. Yes. How are you going to show up tomorrow?
I'm going to show up 100% authentic, yo.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want that
enthusiastic.
Totally. And I'm curious because I've got so many questions. It's just talent acquisition person.
Yeah.
And it's probably not going to get too deep, but I've done a lot of homework about this venture that I'm hoping I have a chance to be in the conversation about being a part of.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, gosh, that took a little while. But thank you. Thank you for asking me those questions and for, as always, for believing in me and lifting me up. It's such that's a huge, sweet additive as well. Not just additive, but actually foundational. You and Ed and Colette.
Yeah.
As the main folks.
Back at you.
Lifting me up through the barf tunnel.
It's reciprocal.
It is. It is a full-on additive situation, abundance.
You had a birthday.
I did have a birthday. Was it since the last recording? Oh my gosh, it's been that long.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
We gave you a present. Do you remember what it was?
I do. It's the cutest little phoenix you're ever going to see.
Yes.
It's a little stuffed animal. It's bright red, my favorite color.
Yeah. It took you a while to figure out what it was.
Like, well, you had to give me some hints.
Buzzard. There aren't a lot of plushy phoenixes on the market.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. And it sits there on the table that has the keyboard on it, the piano keyboard. And look at you just did a shimmy.
Yeah, it kind of is like lording over the space. I feel like it's kind of like, yes. So, right. Phoenix transformation, obviously thought of.
Coming back.
And in this kind of, like it could be a snuggly phoenix too. Like, it's not hardcore. It's a plushy phoenix. So, loved that. Loved celebrating your birthday. Then one of the pagan rituals that I love to participate in is the animal spirit cards that Ed and I do with Temple. Mm-hmm. And this full moon, guess what card I got?
You did not get the phoenix.
I fucking got the phoenix. What? None of us has ever gotten the phoenix before. It was a first. And it's like one of the spirit cards. Like there are animals, and then this was one of the high level cards. So can I just read?
I hope you will.
I think this is for all of us. Okay. Phoenix, freedom from suffering and past karma, reincarnation. The essence of the phoenix is with us when we realize we have been suffering too long and something must change. We take a stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears and aversions. I almost didn't want to read that part. I thought about this in advance and I was like, oh, that's kind of a buzzkill. But I think it offers something to us. What are our fears and aversions?
It's right?
It's
very
applicable.
Buddhist.
I tend to want to keep it light. Okay. But yes, reminds us of our monkey mind and its fears and aversions. At that very moment, the spark of the phoenix is lit and the great bird helps us burn through our baggage. We no longer run from who we are, what has happened to us, or what we have done. The stuckness and dead weight fall into the ashes, and a lightness and clarity emerge. As the stagnancy continues to smolder, this is interesting, the phoenix lifts our spirits up and up and we begin to recognize ourselves again. We may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before. Look closely. It's a sign the fire of transformation is upon your wings.
Wow.
That's a powerful card. And then there's like an eye
with
rays coming out of it. And then there's this whole other part of it. A part of the deck is these sort of like manifestation cards. And this one is like explaining that Phoenix energy begins in the root chakra. So 7 chakras, the lowest one, it's like the tip of the tail. And it moves between the root chakra and the 3rd chakra, which is the navel, which in the chi practices is like the seed of chi. Like the seed, I always imagine my pelvic bowl containing the ocean of energy. And it's in the center of that this spark rises. It doesn't have to go all the way up to your heart. It doesn't have to go to your brain or your third eye. It can like reside in this sea of chi, of energy, of life force, and radiate out from there. So navel, not navel gazing, navel blazing. Navel blazing.
That's great. I love that. Yeah.
I just loved that. Then I got the animal spirit of Phoenix. And obviously it made me think of you, but I guess on my check-in set, I would say like,
you drew the card. So I'd love to hear how this
I
applies to your life.
I drew the card, and I feel like my transformation, it's sort of like we had the honeymoon of post-cancer, like post-cancer treatment, euphoric honeymoon of Ed's feeling better, Ed's energetically back, Ed's working again. And now we're a little bit in the smoldering of like, oh, let's not backslide into our patterns and habits and tendencies. Let's stay in this momentous kind of like, what did that all illuminate? What was that all for?
Yeah.
And how can we please be standing in the light of all the transformation that we experienced rather than going back to our, old habits? So that was one aspect of it that I felt like was speaking to me. I've just noticed our dynamic has been a little bit bickery, a little bit more, I think at one point, we've said this on the pod too, like Ed was doing so well, we could get pissed off at him again, like back in April, maybe. And it's sort of like, oh, I'd like to like not be so, petty about the things I'm getting pissed off at. Like there's a lot going on. Ed's transformation into like wellness again is not without needing a lot of attention. He has to take care of himself. He has, and he's very recharged. I would say like he's, got a lot of energy to charge back into his life now after having to be sidelined for so long. So I get it. And it's been a little overwhelming at times to try to like, rein him in so that he'll do the dishes, stupid shit like this, or like just finding our, finding our rhythm a little bit more where it's not so extreme, whipsawing from euphoria to, exhaustion. Because some days that happens too. I mean, he's not all the way back, and maybe he never will be. And I don't want to put pressure on him to do, things at 110% when he's really just 85% or whatever. So just thinking about like how to partner my healthy partner again, and really identifying the like root, like what is the root of love? What is the root of partnership? And this root chakra feeling, it can be so grounding. I think we talked about that earth transforming our baggage, really shedding and letting go and letting the earth kind of take up what we want to get rid of, tension, blockages, stress. And the root chakra is really great at that. And then like allowing the chi to rise. And it's a process. It's a process that we have to stay open to because we can block our own energy, I believe. So yeah, just trying to stay open, trying to stay in the process, trying to stay present and have faith that we're exactly where we need to be.
That is so beautiful and so powerful. And what it was striking me most about what you just shared is the challenge of how do you handle abundance, abundance of goodness in your life?
Yeah.
How do you handle it?
Yeah.
There's that's one piece. And then the other piece is forward versus backward. I mean, objectively, it's objectively true that we cannot go back anywhere.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So, and yet when things take a bad turn, we can find ourselves longing for what it was. And if it could just be like it was before, I mean, it's one of the oldest tropes in like tragedies, right?
Yeah.
It's like, can it just be like it was? Well, no, it can't. So how do you craft a present and orient yourself towards a future that keeps the good stuff, or is even able to identify the good? Like where, like you said, what is this all for?
Yeah.
What's it all in service of? And of course, it's not like you're going to get it in bolt from the blue.
Yes.
You're going to piece it together over time and have, epiphanies, realizations, and things settling.
Yeah.
And all of that.
Yes.
That's a process. That's a process. And it's really wonderful that you're being so intentional about that. And trying to be intentional, of course.
Yeah.
Trying to be intentional about it. Recognizing that you're trying to craft something new.
Yes. Yes. And I love what you hit on about like, what is the expression? An embarrassment of riches, managing the abundant goodness and settling. I think the settling piece of it to be feeling, to be feeling spacious and not overwhelmed with the like trigger of like, we have to do everything again right now as fast as we possibly can. We don't know how long this is going to last. We don't know how long this wellness is going to last. We don't know how long we have to like feel good. Today's a good day. Make the most of it. And that can be exhausting and annoying.
If it's frantic.
Yes.
Right? If it's frantic and there's something really powerful in there as well, which is a recognition of the preciousness of every moment that we have.
Yeah.
How the hell do you like reconcile all of that?
Oh, here's one way. So like Friday night, I was like, I have this night. Like we had gone, Ed and I had a date night. We went to a sauna together. It had like a cold plunge. I was feeling so good. Ed was like, afterwards, like so cozy and ready for bed. And I was like, I'm going dancing. And I took myself out to a gay nightclub, which I've frequented before just by myself. And I was like, I'm going to dance. I danced really hard and I limped home. And I was like, God damn it, I have nightclub knee. Like I danced too hard. And now I'm like,
it's so hard for me to
too
imagine
old.
you dancing too hard.
No, I know. I mean, I was like, I think I've mentioned that I was probably the oldest person in the club. Well, maybe not. Everybody else looked pretty good. You did mention that to Colette and me that you think you may have been the oldest. I was on the upper edge.
Yeah.
Unless anyways. So, oh God, like now I'm nursing a knee and then like it was getting a little bit better. And then I was like, oh no, I know after a long day of work, it's okay. I really want to see my friend. I'll go visit my friend and she's staying in a cool place with a hot tub. I'll spend an hour in the hot tub, which made my knee totally revert and worse. So I'm like limping out of the hot tub. So I'm like, I have nightclub hot tub knee. Nightclub hot tub.
They should be writing research papers on your condition.
Yes. Like my hedonism injury. I don't know. Yeah. So yes, managing. But today I taught my fitness class, and I was like, today we're going to do fitness for a hurt knee. Like, how do we manage our injuries?
Talk about no wasted effort.
Right? How do we manage? Let's learn from this. We're doing a lot of lemonade ice.
I'm going to make lemonade out of this lemon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually was hydrating. I wasn't even drinking limoncello, which is what that just made me think of. Ooh. Like it felt like I was taking care of myself. But
yeah. Well, let's hope that by the next time we record, this is so much a part of the past. We don't even think that there's an update to be given about the knee.
Okay, good. The needy knee. No need.
Hopefully.
Cool. That's great. Did we pray for my knee this morning? I think we prayed for your knee this morning. I think we did. Mm-hmm. And And that I would like to offer as a segue to the topic du jour.
Topic du jour.
Even though we've spent a good part of the du jour here, just catching up in the studio, which has felt so good.
Yeah. Set the table well.
But you were alluding to this special guest sesh.
Yeah.
That we're going to
much ballyhooed, at least in our small circle.
Yeah. What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about Prayer Porch with Colette and Ed.
Yay!
So we're gonna stop the recording here in just a second. We're gonna go back upstairs, and we're gonna have a chat. And we've alluded to Prayer Porch many times. We haven't gone into much detail about it, but folks are gonna hear a lot about it.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Minute.
All right.
Okay.
Here we are.
Yay! Momentous occasion in the pod.
Hooray!
There we go.
The chorus of guests.
The chorus
has begun. La, 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 la. So Ro and I teed this up, I think, pretty well in terms of like what we're going to get into with regard to Prayer Porch. We wanted to build into that because we've got our 2 categories of updates that we do every episode. Jason's work situation and associated challenges, and Ed's now recovery.
Yeah.
And we wanted to invite our spouses / life partners to share a little bit about their experience, so updates from their perspective about those 2 topics. And so, Colette, I'll invite you to speak first, just to share openly about whatever it is that you want to share with our listeners about what this experience has been like of partnering with me through this barf tunnel situation.
It's so funny that you call it the barf tunnel situation, because my experience has not been of a barf tunnel, although I know you often, I appreciate the term for sure. Whenever my mom asks me how you're doing and how things are going, my answer is like consistently the same it has been, which is like surprisingly well. Like I will get worried when you start to not be yourself. When you start, when I'm feeling like you're depressed or just amiss. And I do feel like the last week there have been moments, flashes of that have been, and it's hard for me. Like when there's a moment where you're so super short about something. Often it comes after you've been sitting at your desk for a while. And you will articulate that you're so bored with this situation. You've been busy at your desk for a while, but you're like bored with your situation. And I know that you're busy. Like I know that there's a lot of things that you are doing professionally, and really personally, like some fun things that you have the capacity to do right now. Like preparation for our daughter's wedding.
That's been fun.
Yeah, things like that. And kind of doing a little more stuff around the house. Like there is this, I think I have this fantasy, and we haven't arrived at this yet. That's why it's a fantasy. This fantasy that you just won't give any fucks about getting a job.
Wow.
And that somehow...
Are we allowed to say F-bombs on this podcast?
Nope.
No left field, baby.
And that somehow... but that you'll still quietly be working on getting a job, because we, of course, really do want you to have a paying job someday that's, at least I do, that is free from you having to worry about your own business and stuff like that. And it is...
You know that and our listeners know that
meaningful work, et cetera, et cetera. But I also I love me, my house husband.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a part of me that has been like dreaming of like, you just wholeheartedly being in on, like, there's stuff accumulating, as you know, we've talked about, like...
We want to be people who take care of things.
We want to be people who take care of things. This has been an identity of ours that we've started talking about since the winter holidays. Like, people that, like, sweep and mop the floor.
I haven't heard this, but it is music to my ears.
People who like notice that, now that our daughter has moved, our youngest daughter is not living at home anymore and just graduated. There's just all these chinks in the wall of her bedroom. People who spackle and paint. You know, people who notice that the grout in the shower needs to be replaced and are not intimidated by that and just like, oh, yeah, let's do it. People who fold blankets, like my dear friend Rowena does, like fold the blankets on the couch and put them in a nice, neat little pile. They pay attention and kind of are attentive to a certain kind of soulful living, which takes attention, and people have to have capacity for that. So I think there is this like little part of me that is like some of my best memories of you not being employed in past chapters of our lives have been the intensity with which you brought in a really positive way to parenting, the fun that you brought to the house, the like being available to put extra time in making dinner and that kind of thing. So I do feel like I've been the beneficiary of a lot of that, but there is a part of me that just feels like before he gets a job, let's have a little bit more fun with like you experiencing yourself in all of these other capacities. Like you're more than just the person that can do a paid job, and you can do it well, and you have so many skills, and you should absolutely like be in a position of influence and community and care for others that that you are so capable of and that you are passionate about, and I want all of that for you. And I also I'm enjoying, like, it's also summertime, like, and there's a part of me that is kind of secretly still enjoying um that you're not like gone all year, for example, as the dean of, you know, a gap year program, or working super long hours and we're stressed out about work stuff.
Which has been the case in various chapters in the past.
Has been the case. Not always the case, but definitely has been the case.
Has been the case at certain times in the past, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about I know that there's some upcoming, like, in kind of HR kind of screening interview coming up for you later this week. It's a big for another big job, and I'm also super appreciative of like how long you've been on this hamster wheel. Like every one of I went through a huge job interview process last year and was a finalist, a job interview process that took 9 months, and I put a lot into it, and by all accounts thought that I was, like, from all the feedback I got, really thought I was the one that was going to get this job and didn't. And like, I was so done with it, you know, being ambitious after that. And like, you know, it's a year out now, and I feel like I'm just now starting to feel like I have stamina. If another good opportunity came around, I might apply for it, kind of thing. But like, I cannot, like, you have had, like, you've had so many, you've been a finalist for so many really big jobs in the last year, or a semifinalist. And so I also kind of feel that, like, wow, like, this is taking a lot of stamina. Like, you know, what can I do to get you revved up again, get you back to the start line, for another big job, which might actually be the job, but you have to show up for it as passionate and hungry as every one of these interviews you've shown up for.
Welcome, Sister Mary
Yeah.
Colette. Welcome, Sister Mary Colette. So many things resonated with me. First of all, I loved, is it people who take care of things? I love the care piece of that it encompasses so much domestic stuff, grout, but also you took care of us. You took care of us. We've talked a lot about our cancer convalescence weekends, but
We're the grout problem people.
right? You have to do
the grout problem.
We have to do a lot of laundry and but also just the emotional. Like you've been taking care of our souls. I mean, I think you also called fun, soulful work sweeping and mopping, which I'm so on board with.
We do not discuss such things on this podcast. Such topics are forbidden.
And
you're good with that.
You're so good at that. Oh,
you are. You're so hot. You're pushing a mop around. I love you and that mop.
House,
you and your mop.
When he wears an apron.
Yeah,
this is apron.
He doesn't need an apron.
When I remember to put an apron on when I'm cooking, I do.
And nothing else. Just protect. Anyways, I hope you feel like in the hamster wheel of being in partnership with Jason as the job wheel spins around. I hope you have benefited from the cancer treatment winding down. Because you really did put yourself so much of your heart and your project management expertise into being there for us, as well as your very demanding full-time job and your family and all of that. So I want to say a prayer of gratitude, given that this is about prayer porch for my dear friend, Colette.
Me too. Should I?
It's a good segue over to you.
Good segue. Well,
yeah.
To build on
Welcome, Ed. We've talked so much about you.
Oh, thank you.
You're here.
You're alive.
I'm alive, and I want to echo and add to Rowena's prayer of gratitude for the two of you, Colette and Jason, besides for my lady. Colette's contributions to my recovery have been so many, and often in this kind of project management role that is often not that visible, like arranging for a number of Rowena's close friends to give her a present while I was in the hospital. One of the sweetest gestures I could imagine.
Surprise.
How many friends did you get to do this?
I don't know.
Like 10? 8?
Yeah, something around that.
Yes.
And so every day Rowena got a present.
No, it was like through the hours of your 10-hour surgery. I got a present an hour.
A present an hour that Colette arranged, which is how beautiful is that?
Incredible.
And it's another one of the sources that indicate that Sister Mary Colette may be the first of us to become a saint.
Yeah. Oh,
maybe the only one of us.
For sure.
It ain't me.
And prayer gratitude for my buddy Jason Patton, who, as part of this year of not having your work, we've talked about this. You guys have talked about this on Prayer Porch and podcast, and on Prayer Porch, we've talked about how you have been so generous to me and have cared for me in more visible ways, maybe than Colette, like showing up and being my movie buddy for Billy Movies days, and being coming to the hospital with me and being there when I had a panic attack and wasn't sure if I was having a heart attack. This is before the cancer even, I think. And you showed up to be with me and hold my hand. And so I kind of like Colette's prayer of like more Jason free time. Although maybe you've had enough of the free time, but the free time has been so miraculous, shall we say? That does suggest maybe you are a candidate for sainthood. You need three miracles for sainthood, Colette, is that?
Yeah, at least
3. And so there's one of yours that you had this year.
If you peer-reviewed articles somewhere.
Well, let's ask Aunt Dorothea. She probably knows more fully. But so prayers of gratitude for the two of you. And to give a little update on this recovery headline, which is true. I'm feeling largely recovered from cancer. And that is such a prayer, hallelujah, and gratitude that I'm feeling 85 to 90% at full health, you could say, and in some ways getting healthier. I'm now lifting weights and sprint swimming. Getting swole and jacked, as my lady would like.
Jacked.
You better get jacked, Ed.
Better get jacked.
So I'm trying to improve my muscles. And it's happening. I have some muscles. That's
it.
Let me feel it. I'm going to go, damn, I broke my thumb. Touching your bicep.
So, I do have some GI issues occasionally, gastrointestinal ones that aren't so pleasant. We won't go into great detail on that unless you guys want to.
We call it, you euphemize it as off-gassing.
Yeah.
You coined the term, I believe.
Yes, there's still some off-gassing that really makes my lady suffer, I'm sure. But
It's all good.
and I would say that another little, it's a little on the little side. I have returned to a measure of anxiety and a little bit of panic attacks occasionally, I think related to going into the work world again and worrying about making money, because as maybe, I don't know, the listeners know, but we were given $100,000 nearly by friends and family over the last year through a GoFundMe really managed by Jason. So every time any money came in, it was Jason's success.
I mean, that's GoFundMe's very own language.
So it was always Jason's success
of the person. That's it.
Yes, I'm
Jason's success very successful.
Was very much
very successful.
Moved over to our family, and now I have to make money again, and I'm enjoying making money again and earning for our family along with Rowena. But it's a little stressful. But overall, I am feeling largely back to myself and forward to a better self. I'm having a wonderful experience with some of the work I'm doing around masculinity and organizations and how to help men and everyone around them live healthier, fuller, more soulful lives. And I've been able to give some talks. I've been able to work with this group of ski guys that I even talked to today. We're going to maybe try to do some writing or speaking about this little men's group over the last 2 years. That has been a way for guys to be total guys. That's the name of the group, is the Total Guy Group. In other words, guys don't just have to be tough all the time. They can be tender also. So when you're tough and tender, you're total. And it's a little reductive, but it's really helped a number of us guys, get through some challenges, including me, even though I was one of the co-founders of it along with my buddy Jay. So amen and prayer gratitude for recovery, and what a treat to be with you all here.
You are so recovered that you recently asked the administrative assistant of our church to take you off of the official prayer list because you didn't want to hear people praying out loud for you at the lectern Sunday after Sunday anymore. You were like, let me
that was a good
give over the prayer.
I didn't realize that was an Ed initiative.
I didn't know that either until right now.
You mentioned this on Prayer Porch, you all did, but what I heard, I've been having this weird thing of distorted things I'm hearing these days, which is a whole other hilarity. I'm thinking what I heard was that they asked you to remove yourself. Which I thought was so funny. Like,
go away, kid, you bother
make
me.
room for somebody else now. You're done. We get that, enough with the facade.
Yes, right?
That's hilarious. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it that way. I heard that you had been removed. And so I just pictured Pastor Maggie looking down the litany and being like, he's good. He's good.
I probably could still be there today if it wasn't for that action. It's a very generous community.
Right? Yeah.
That's a long prayer. There's way more. There's twice as many people on that prayer list than in church.
Wow. It's very true.
I've sat through that litany.
Yes, it's very true. Oh my goodness.
It's beautiful.
Well, Rowena and I had the chance on the pod, each of us in our own episode, to tell some stories about our spiritual development and who we are as spiritual beings. And as we edge ever closer to the actual conversation about Prayer Porch, it's a lot of context, but it's all going to be worth it because
yes,
it just will. We wanted to hear a little bit from each of you about how you think of yourselves and experience yourselves as spiritual beings, and thought we would do this in whatever way is comfortable. If you want to tell a story, whatever way works best for you. So let's go to you first, Ed, because we had Colette go first on the last one. So over to you.
Thank you. Well, I loved hearing about both your story, Jace, and Rowena, your story on the previous podcasts, and it's an honor to have a chance to share mine too and hear Colette's. I would say I have had a U-shaped spiritual journey. When it started up high, went through a valley, and has been rising again. And one of my favorite moments of my spiritual path is when I was about 4 years old, I remember singing in church songs like, "And they'll know we are Christians by our love." We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord.
And together we'll... that God is enough.
And they'll know we are Christians by our love. By our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love.
I thought of that song today. Continue. How interesting.
That and other songs were magical to me. And I remember this one moment of standing on the church bench, I think maybe holding onto the bench in front of me, and just being one with the music and loving the harmonies, maybe experimenting with harmony, which has always been a lifelong thrill of mine.
And you're good at it.
Thank you. Thank you. And there is divinity there, I think. There was divinity there of unity, of the blending of our voices and our souls and the presence of God. And it all went downhill from there.
Well, it's a U-shaped.
It's a U-shaped.
We already gave us a
in
spoiler
some ways
here.
it did. I mean, like, well, there was some good stuff after that. I come from a very Catholic background. This was a Catholic church. My mother was a Catholic teacher. My father and his family contributed to a Jesuit high school. That there was the place where the priests lived was called Fraunheim Hall. Like we were major benefactors of this Canisius high school. I don't think Canisius College, but there's also Canisius College. And it was a pretty powerful experience to be growing up Catholic, getting baptized, confirmed, First Communion confirmed. And even in college, I started going to a beautiful midnight mass with my buddy Raul, who you guys know well. There was this very, very sacred and druidy ritual on Saturday nights where this giant Princeton cathedral was darkened except for the nave, maybe the very most rear part of the church, and there would be a small gathering of people there that had a midnight mass, and
Is it like candlelight?
But it was candlelight, very kind of mystical, you could say, and yet, and I was very interested in the social justice wing of the Catholic Church in college, but also very critical of Catholicism for its sexism and its not so great past, crusades and mistreatment of people and mistreatment of kids. And I, went away from the Catholic Church then for much of my adult life. And then the U there is like being much more secular, not really feeling that great spiritual connection. But I thankfully, Rowena and I don't know exactly how this worked. We got basically invited to go back to a church. And she talked about going to Old First Church, I think, in your podcast episode, right? And I feel so glad that our friends invited us, because that was part of a spiritual reawakening for me. Pastor Maggie is such she has the spirit, I like to say. And can't speak enough of how wonderful she's been to our family and how wonderful her sermons are. And then I think I found a kind of spirituality beyond the church, through rituals, kind of like you talked about, Rowena, with pagan type of ways of thinking and being and believing. And I would say that even for me, part of what reaffirmed an interest in spirituality was reading books even about spirit in the workplace, which is something I've written a lot about as a journalist. And this book, Reinventing Organizations, that you guys know has been a big part of what excited me, in this concept of a teal consciousness, where we can be more a whole human being, and a whole human being includes a spirituality part, or at least it's not relegated to not being part of work or life, much of life, but it's integrated in us. And so I feel a much more integrated way of being spiritual these days. And I'm finding that I can write about it without shame or without being afraid I'm sounding like some New Age lunatic, which is, mean to both New Age people and people that maybe worship the moon. I don't know. But I think that there's
that would be lunatic.
Lunatic. People who are having mental illness, maybe say. But I guess to sum things up, like I feel more and more connected to God and the goddess. I think of my sense of spirituality includes both a male and a female sacredness that I think is actually important, because I think we've suppressed the sacred feminine to our great
detriment.
Thank you. And even to the demise potentially of our race, if we don't allow the sacred feminine to reemerge and be partners with the sacred masculine. And so that I see that as part of my work now, is to highlight these things and to make space for that union of an integration of the sacred masculine and feminine. So I am happy with the U curve coming back up and feeling more spirit connected to life and integrated in life, integrated with my life more than ever.
Beautiful.
Preach.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing all of that, Ed. I learned a lot about there's a lot there that I hadn't heard, that I'm hearing for the first time. So thank you for sharing all of that.
My pleasure. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I want to hear about Sister Mary Colette's.
Sister Mary Colette Plum?
It's so interesting hearing you talk about that early childhood experience of music in church. And I've done some singing with you in church. One of my earlier, pretty early in our friendship memories I have with you, like you were kind of my Catholic friend, even though you weren't a practicing Catholic. Like I went to a couple masses with you at Mission Dolores when we were in San Francisco. I don't know if you remember. In the Basilica where Jason and I were married.
The St. Mary's one?
No,
No,
Dolores.
Dolores.
Okay.
The Mission Dolores on Dolores Avenue.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, and like you were, you didn't feel comfortable singing the creed, but you sang everything so loud and out loud, singing out loud, knew all the songs. I would also say, like, as a child, music, like, I really liked, you and I were of the era, post-Vatican II era, folk masses were like a big thing, home churches, home-baked bread for communion. You probably were in home masses at times, I would imagine. No, you weren't?
No, not that level.
That was my family, like, I mean, not we went to regular Sunday Mass at the church, but my parents were so involved in different Catholic kind of couples and Marriage Encounter, like these different organizations. Lots of priest friends. Like it was not uncommon for us to have priests at home having dinner with us and sometimes celebrating Mass beforehand. But that whole like music, the music I knew as a child was Catholic music. It's still something I miss when I go to Episcopal or non-Catholic churches. There is a certain kind of there's some overlap in the music, but there's something very distinctive I found about Catholic music that is a little bit folksy and, I don't know, that I really, really appreciate. I remember a conversation, like I just have this memory being quite young and my mom asking us what our favorite songs were. And I look back now and they were all like, I was just rhapsodizing, I remember. and they were all like Catholic songs from church. Oh, I really like this one. I really like that one. And my mom kind of was laughing a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't realize at the time what was funny about that. But now it's funny that I remember it. And it's also just funny that there was all church music. So yeah, from a very young age, I had a relationship with God. Like it was like my, my safe place, my I went to Catholic school, so that was another thing. So backing up a little bit, devoutly Catholic family. And what that really means is like daily mass for my parents, daily communion. My parents prayed together daily. We said the rosary as a family. I went through 12 years of Catholic school. Um, I received all the sacraments. I was regularly participating in the life of a Catholic church and parish, all through high school. And my first real experience of public school, I had a little bit of a summer school experience, which was really weird for me in like 5th grade. But my first real experience of like not being immersed in a Catholic community was college. I went to UC San Diego public school. And that was when I had to start taking responsibility for my own, that it's not like I could just pile in the car every morning with the family. And there was the expectation that the family went to church. But that was also kind of exciting. I didn't always go to church regularly, but I went pretty regularly to mass. And I really liked the Catholic, similarly, like there was a night mass with candlelight. I tend to really like the Catholic priests that are associated with universities, especially public universities. There are certain denominations of priests that tend to be, more intellectual. Yeah, so I felt very grounded in a lot of the practices, even if they weren't necessarily always as liturgical as like I've been raised with, grounded in practices. But when I say like I had a relationship, like it just seemed I talked to God a lot as a kid. Like I remember, and I loved, like I would read books of saints' lives and stuff like that. And I couldn't fathom how it was that anyone could go, like that there was a heaven and hell, that there was ever such a thing as a hell, because like I would just like, I kept imagining like, oh, if I ever accidentally ended up there, I would just be like, Jesus,
You forgot me.
like, I love you.
Been a mistake.
Come get me. Like, and bring these people with me. Like, and I remember my dad at one point telling me when I was a child, telling me that like he believed that there would be a day that no one would be in hell, that everyone would be in heaven. That's the yearning of the human spirit.
Oh, my plum.
That we all yearn for God, and that there's like, we all will have to go through our own journeys of like turning towards God and giving up sin or whatever the obstacles are. To fully realizing who we are, as divine beings, but that people would eventually arrive at that. I'm aware that as I'm talking about this, I make it sound like it's also uncomplicated, and it hasn't been. Like, I've really, in ways similar that Ed, you were talking about, have struggled, like with Catholicism has gone, like there's just a lot of things that have been hard for me about Catholicism. And I've, you know, there have been periods of my life that I've not been a practicing Catholic. But I've always sought some type of Christian community. And I never considered myself as someone who left the church. I felt like there have been periods where I've taken time away or time out, but I always felt the open door for me to return, and have frequently returned and gone to confession or reconciliation, have participated in the sacraments, taken communion. And I also, there might be, I think this is important context. My full name's Mary Colette. My older sister is Mary Elise. We're named for the Blessed Mother. We joined our family via adoption. And adoption is something that I've seen in a lot of Catholic families. Like there's a real kind of beauty and embracing of growing families and building families through adoption. And I almost feel like my DNA from my family is Catholicism, that it's like inseparable from my family origins, to the point where when I was adopted via a Catholic agency called Holy Family, because my birth mother was also Catholic. when I met her, I ended up meeting her in my early 20s, and she was really anti-Catholic at that point, and was pretty disturbed by the fact that I had such a Catholic upbringing and that I was still a practicing Catholic. Like, I think it was really unsettling for her. And for me, it feels like that's also just such a part of like who we are as a family, my family of origin. Yeah, what I want to impart to my children. There's something that feels very connective across time and generationally. And then there is the concept of the universal church, that there's really pockets of Catholicism in so many places globally. And I feel connected to that broader Catholic family. And I can't imagine my origins. I really cannot imagine my origins or myself outside of Catholicism. It's so deep in me. And it's still very problematic. And I don't want to take too much time here, but I had a little experience last Sunday that I haven't shared with you guys yet. So I've been trying, pretty regularly to go to Catholic mass on Sunday. Sometimes I double dip, do the Episcopal Church with Jason, but try to squeeze in Catholic mass as well. And the closest Catholic parish, if I want to do it in the morning, like my favorite Catholic, mass still is like with the university. I work at a university and I work at UC Berkeley, and there's a wonderful the Newman Center there. I love being with the students and the faculty and the staff there. It's 9 p.m. on a Sunday, which works really well for me. I do like that, but there's a parish not very far from us that has an 8 o'clock mass on Sunday. So sometimes I'll get up and just do that before the day starts. And I went last Sunday, and the priest there it was 4th of July weekend, so it was July 5th. And he's an immigrant from Vietnam. And he gave this homily that I almost walked out of mass. And I think 5 years ago, maybe, I would have walked out of mass. It was so Christian nationalist. I just couldn't stomach it. It was so much about how, like, he started talking about how he saw kids protesting by a middle school, and there were kids with signs protesting. And he wanted to he couldn't believe it. Like, don't these kids realize that they're protesting a country that like saved the world during World War II? Don't they understand how wonderful the gift of religion is, that we have the right to, practice our religion? But then, he went on about being one nation under God, but the God is our God. And he said, not the Jewish God, not the,
wow, he went there?
He said, not the, what do the Muslims call it? And someone,
Allah.
And he's like, oh, not Allah. Like, it's yes, he did. And I was so sick to my stomach. And I almost, like I said, I almost walked out. And then I was just like, okay, I'm here. I'm here in Catholic Mass in particular for the liturgy and for the Eucharist. And he's going to finish this homily, and then he's going to consecrate the Eucharist. And there is going to be divinity right there on the altar. For whatever reason, this man has been empowered to do that. And I want to receive God today. And he is part of my Christian family. And I don't agree with him. My heart is breaking. I feel excluded. Oh, he said something about trans people as children as well. I was so sickened. And I really leaned into some stuff that I saw Pope Leo had addressed about addressing the U.S. and the birthday. And it was all about making, the best of our the best worker of a country is how it takes care of its poor and immigrants, etc. And I was like, yes, and there's that church too. And feeling really, I was thinking of something that Ro also had called out, I think you did when you were talking about your spiritual life on the podcast, something from the Dalai Lama that I had read from the Dalai Lama, that like there was this big rush of people converting to Tibetan Buddhism. And the Dalai Lama actually was like, wait a minute, like, why are you all doing this? Like, there's some karmic reason you were born into the faith you were born into. It's really easy to shop around for religions. Like, every religion has its hard stuff. Like, there was a reason you were born where you were born. Stick with the hard stuff. Stay in the religion of your birth. And I do come back to that too. I definitely came back to that on Sunday. Like, this is the hard stuff. And I have had this recent, really lovely reconnection with Catholics that think more, that experience God, I guess, that are people of God in the ways that I want to be people of God. And some of this comes with Pope Leo being chosen last spring as an American Pope who has a value system that really resonates with me. And I guess I might as well just share now that, like, Pope Leo is my cousin.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, he's my cousin Rob. And he was close to my dad. My dad really, really absolutely loved him. I lost my dad in 2020. That, like, my Catholic roots, like the family that people hear about Pope Leo having been raised in, is my family. Like, we were that family. We are that family. My dad grew up in the same household as the Pope's mother, and spent a lot of time in the Pope's mother's household after he was married, and saw a model of a Catholic marriage and family that he aspired to and in many ways reproduced. And it was this wild thing when cousin Rob became Pope. Like, how it was like, I could feel my father laughing right next to me when it happened. My father, who's, been deceased for 6 years, at the time 5 years, where I felt like he was like, okay, bloom where you're planted. It's another expression my parents used to have. A lot of people would shop for parishes too. And like my parents believed that, like, you belong to the parish of your zip code. You don't shop around. That's where you're planted, and that's your community, and you stay there and you make it better, and you make it your home. So bloom where you're planted is like, that is the expression that they used to use around that. And I felt very much like full circle in a way, like, okay, like, you don't run from this. Like, as problematic as the church is, it's problematic for all of us. And my cousin has a heck of a job right now of trying to pull it together. I mean, he just excommunicated some folks who don't, believe in interfaith dialogue, among other things. And I'm listening more to really respected Catholic leaders who are very much, very open-hearted and tolerant, more than tolerant, compassionate, are listening to people of other faiths, are lifting up LGBTQ plus folk, and really, lifting up women within the Catholic Church. And yeah, okay, sorry guys, I went on a long time, but that's where I've arrived at. I guess I'm feeling much more rooted now in my roots.
And you're blooming.
And I'm blooming where I've been planted. Yeah. For
No need
sure.
to apologize. It's just a beautiful story.
So beautiful. And I would just add that I feel like you have fertilized the prayer porch with your elevated Catholicism, like your elevated commitment to the faith, I feel has brought a level of commitment to praying in my life. I'll speak for myself in my life that I need. So thank you.
Thank you for saying that. And I was thinking of Ed. I said something dismissive to you on purport the other day, but I've been really thinking about it.
I know that took away a little bit of your sainthood petition. I'm not even sure I'll remember. Go ahead. Say
I
more.
think it was we read. It was a reading for Thomas Aquinas, and it was the "Take, Lord, receive all my liberty, my memories, my understanding, my entire will. Give me only your love and your grace. That's enough for me." There's more to it, but you commented right away, like, "Oh, that's beautiful, except I don't agree with the liberty part." And I like reacted right away. I was like, I think I quoted the Dalai Lama too. Like,
Yeah, take that.
Like,
Take that, Dalai Lama.
That's the tough part of the faith. There's like, but then I was listening today. So I'm really sorry. Like, I just jumped on that because, like, holy crap, take my liberty. That is huge. But I was thinking about that today. Like, I've thought about this many times as a Catholic because we go on our knees in many Catholics. There's a lot of ways the church is, reformed in some ways. There's lots of parishes that don't necessarily continue with the kneeling during the liturgy, but I actually really like to go down on my knees. I feel like since when we first were hit with struggling with infertility, it was the first time in my life where I really felt like it was like what it was like to just be on my knees, like brought to my knees in prayer. And I was listening to this beautiful interview with Father James Martin, The Spiritual Life. He was interviewing a Muslim comedian.
Hassan Minhaj.
Yes. And Hassan was saying how in the Muslim faith, in prayer, you prostrate yourself, and that he's come to really appreciate prostration. That he said, and especially when he sees elders prostrating, he's like, you get to a certain age, you've lived through stuff, you understand what it's like to be prostrate, and like, and that's something I also just really like. We've been through that together. Like, we know what it's like to be figuratively on our knees together, be figuratively prostrate before whatever greater good and goodness and godliness there is that, might, bestow blessings on us, much needed blessings on us. So yeah, I realize I bring that to prayer porch, like this kind of like, if I could, I would bring incense to prayer porch and the bells and all. Like, I love all of that. Like, I'm that Catholic that loves the incense.
I forgive you for your sin against me, and I wasn't really a sin. And you brought Cousin Rob to our prayer porch, which even deepened the spiritual wonder of it all, I feel like. Plus which you got us a personally autographed photo from the Pope with his blessing that probably got us better treatment in the hospital, which I wrote about.
Friends in high places.
Exactly. I echo what Rowena said about how much you brought to the prayer porch, and you too, little old you. And I just wondered whether maybe it's a two-parter.
Yes, I think it's going to be a two-parter. Thank you for the suggestion. So we'll get to prayer porch and all of its wonder in a future conversation. In the meanwhile, I think there was one other thing that you wanted to add after our share from the wonderful Sister Mary Colette.
That Ed Frauenheim wants to.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so moved by Colette's story. And I partway through your story, Colette, I realized there's one kind of piece that I've always felt powerful about in my spirituality that even affects something I almost write down every day, which is to say Gnosticism. And I had the ability in college to take a course about the Gnostic Gospels by Elaine Pagels, who was an amazing scholar of those early Christian writings that weren't included in the Bible. And that's been a powerful thing for me, this idea that we have an internal divinity. And gnosis is the notion of that divine spark within us, and that the Gnostics believe that anybody can have a direct relationship with God. And I always found that so powerful, and it reminded me of is kind of that idea of like we have a level of interaction with God and the divine. And then also the Gnostics had a Gnostic gospel of Mary. There was a greater openness to the feminine that was part of that as well. So, and to this day, when I write in my journal, I almost always write Gnostic check-in or Gnostic now, which is to say, what is the current state of knowing of myself right now with a divine flavor. So I just wanted to add that that's a part of what has stuck with me throughout the whole U curve, is a notion of that there's some divinity in me and in all of us that I feel more powerfully than ever.
It's so beautiful. That actually, so this is how I would love to just to share, to wrap up my piece of this pod episode, is how strongly I feel, you call it the Holy Spirit, if we're talking about the Trinitarian versions of Christianity, how strongly I feel that in you, Ed, and in you, Colette. Just it's the Holy Spirit, the way that it moves so powerfully in you and through you and into us and all around you. I want to thank you both for being the spiritual beings that you are, and literally gracing me with your presence and your friendship.
Wow.
So one of my favorite prayers, just the simple "Come, Holy Spirit, come." Like I'll return to that when I'm in need. So thanks for inviting that into this space.
Yeah. And you do something very similar to me, by the way, Jace. So I'm glad to have to offer some spirituality.
Rowena
Yes, of course, Rowena.
The devil.
I was saying,
Come, devil, sin. Come.
brings the Holy Spirit.
Satan, get
behind me.
Get behind me.
Behind me.
Get behind me, Rowena.
Like the seraphim and the cherubim.
The seraphim are they're the six-winged angels.
But there's
right?
also there's a howling, like loud, piercing noise that one of these angels.
Don't the angels all scare the shit out of
I
everybody?
think that is kind of part of it too. Like I feel like, I mean that in all the best of ways. That like Ro, you bring it all. Like you bring the entire chorus of divinity and celestial beings, messengers into our space.
You do.
Which is freaking amazing.
Amen.
I do feel also duty bound to be very, very clear that I was addressing our two guests, because you and I got our own thing going on here, Rowena, and our listeners are much more well acquainted with you and your divinity and how the Holy Spirit moves through you as well.
Okay.
It literally moves through her, right? The movement.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hopefully better soon, because that pesky knee is going to get better. We're never going to talk about it again.
Be gone.
Be gone.
Be gone.
That's all for this episode of No Left Field. If you enjoyed it, give us a 5-star rating and follow the podcast. That will help others find us. Until next time, may our left fields be ever expanding.
Nice one.